Well, hello, Dragon family. It is Thursday. Beautiful sunny day here. Excited about that. I had a very interesting discovery call this morning. So that's sort of where we're going to head today in our discussion. And we'll pull a card. It's always fun to check in with the energy. So just small announcements while I'm waiting for those of you to come on live and find that I'm here. I've been talking about the release of the Dutch version. Blessedly, I've had it in hand for quite some time now, probably at least 2 years, maybe 3, from a beautiful woman who lovingly did the translation and sent it off to me. And I've been finding the time, trying to find the time, the energy, and the resources that I needed to format it so to be exactly like the other versions of the book in the French, the Spanish, and the English. So now that I have a new computer, there were no more excuses. I was able to get the program I needed. I've been working diligently on it. I'm eminently close to being able to release and get that into the book publisher, I should say the print house, the one that does all the print on demand for me, so that it's available in all the bookstores as something you can order. And that's always good to know, because no matter where you are in the world, there's a print house in Australia, there's one in the UK, there's one in the US or North America, and they ship directly from there. So it saves on shipping and everything to be able to order directly through your bookstores. So excited about that. I've actually got the book fully formatted. I've just got to figure out getting it loaded up into the site. Got the ISBN numbers and everything. So I'm thrilled. It feels like what's interesting about it, and I guess why I wanted to share it, is because what I'm noticing is about a month ago, we talked about how this new energy is moving us into alignment with truth. And that as things come in, this is going to be a big year. And it's always obviously more noticeable in hindsight of what's been going on, what the trend has been. And so as I moved into that and all these things coming into alignment, part of that is completion of big things that have been around me. So interesting to feel the presence of the Middle Earth dragons that were adamant, like, let's do this, let these out now. And so I've got the whole new set of recordings of the Middle Earth dragons for guided meditations. And then this being ready and in my field saying, all right, it's time to complete it. And it almost feels as though, one, they're making space for what's next for me. I've told you guys for a while that I feel a subtle shift in the work. And one of the things that I know is going to be happening is the next book. I've had all the material and the energy and the pieces that I know are coming together for that, because it's more movement directly into the ascension journey and all the different information the dragons have presented to do that. So I'm so excited about that. Hi, Teresa. Good to see you. So that, I feel like it's making space for that to finally come into being and clearing the slate, clearing the dust, clearing all the boards. And that is alignment into truth. That's alignment into what is really ready to birth. But it's not just that. It's that this whole year is coming into alignment, that everything here is now putting us forward into the path we're supposed to be on. And so leading that into the discussion of what came up this morning and the path that we're meant to be on and why we might sometimes resist that. So pay attention, like what's on your slate, what's still out there that you finally feel energy coming up, like the shoots of spring as we have this beautiful spring weather starting. What's rising of, this finally wants attention, this finally wants to be done, and really allowing the focus to be on that, really, and always following your heart with that, because we're learning also to be in flow in every moment. So how that ties in, and it's interesting, I didn't expect that to tie in so beautifully, but it actually just did, of what's aligning to truth, what's bringing us home, what's bringing us into our deepest heart center, and what we're here actually supposed to be doing. So the call this morning and how that's connected, there was a question, a beautiful woman who has been experiencing for some time now this dragon energy coming into her field, and healers around her have recognized it. She can feel it. She's very intuitive. And as long as the energy was outside of her, it was this very playful little dragon, and then it keeps getting bigger. And as it's been getting bigger, what's starting to make her uncomfortable now is the fact that she's feeling it merge along her spine, or feeling it moving within her and bringing this big wing embrace around. And it's interesting because I know she's not alone in the experience, and why I'm being led to talk about it today is, are you ready to align into truth and recognize that you either, there's two possibilities for her. You're either a dragon at your core level, or you have a dragon incarnation that is ready to merge in, that is about waking up to that essence because it holds a higher level or vibration of that frequency and ability to embrace, because that, even if it was an incarnation, that's not your soul origin. Experiencing dragon format allows you to step into that and expand the heart. And so that would be a helpful one to assimilate in as you're trying to expand into that. So what she came along with, though, and recognized was, I'm resistant to it. That I feel this energy trying to come into me, and I can see where I've been pushing it back. I've not been willing to just drop in and receive it. And so there's a couple of things to pay attention to with that, of when, we have a lot of fears, especially as energy workers, about entities or energies that aren't good for us, that might be trying to come in, penetrate, get into our sphere. And you can feel if that's a hackle that's raising. The key is to be able to feel when that's happening, that, oh, here's this dragon trying to merge into me, and I know I'm resistant to it. Where is the resistance sitting in the body? Try to track down and go into, where is it? Because as I dove in with her, I was being shown that there's some residual ancestral resistance to it. And this happened to be a person who lives up in the UK, which I consider the land of dragons, and still the heart of dragon energy on the planet, that's the most available, the most concentrated, and easily connected to. So feeling that, it was coming up for her of ancestral fear of that, where there's something genetically encoded within because of the bloodline through that land. When they did actually live on the planet, they were physical beings, they were being chased, they were being hunted, they were terrifying the people, or literally people were just terrified of them because they didn't understand them. So if you can find and locate that and feel like, wow, this isn't even mine, this is something associated with my bloodline, or what is this associated with? Am I more afraid of it being a dark entity or something that's here to harm me? And that would release other levels of connection to trauma, whether it was physical kind of trauma of someone trying to enter your energy field, or actual entity attachments of that kind. Feeling that and saying, all right, so where's this fear coming from? And let the dragons who are present around you help you work through and release that. But rather than resisting completely and saying, oh no, I can't do dragon energy, because they're so persistent and they're so present and they hold so many keys and codes for you, allowing yourself to see, all right, where's my resistance from? Where's it really coming from? Is it mine? Is it ancestral? If it's mine, what within me is so afraid of an entity? What was my experience? What moved through my body? Maybe I'm just resistant because I've heard stories about that, and I don't know what it is, and I can't feel it and be absolutely clear and 100% on what that energy is, and so I'm afraid of it. And it's okay. Feel the fear. Diving into the emotions is the key. So when you feel that fear, that resistance, that I'm just not comfortable with it, and maybe it's just a state of discomfort, that's a form of resistance as well. And just sit with it until you can tap into where that's rising from and allow the clarity to come from your guides, especially if you have dragon guides. They're going to show you, and they're going to constantly be present to hold the space of energy around you that you need to move through that. So with that said, let's pull a card based on that thematic, on that energy, that the intention of the card pull, and asking which dragon energy would be the most helpful in moving through my resistances to either embracing a dragon energy that's trying to work with me, embracing the fact that I might be a dragon, anything to do where I'm resistant to the dragons. Let's see what dragon would be the most helpful to do that. And it's almost like an oxymoron of saying, well, if I'm afraid of dragons, why would I pay attention to that dragon? But the message they bring might be just what you need to hear to allow that opening, to allow that pinprick of light to move through, to start breaking down those belief systems, those structures that are limiting you, because it's time to come into the truth of who you be. That alignment this year is big and strong, right? So I can feel it here. Before I look at it and reveal who it is, dropping into that breath spontaneously, feeling that it reminded me, very interesting, I have a guy down in Réunion, Ile de la Réunion. It's a French island down in the South Pacific. He actually, I might be wrong on that location. He's from Reunion, and I've got to correct myself. It might be over more by Africa. I need to look at my geography because it's a place I know I want to go, but I'm forgetting in this moment which islands are which that I'm thinking about. Anyway, he's a musician. He approached me several months ago, like right before Christmas, about using one of the tracks in the background for a new music production that he's doing. It's all spiritual-based music that he likes to do. So he's got a new song coming out, Mantra of the Dragons. It's Fabrice Splendor. You might see his posts because he's tagged me in them on my feed. But sort of fun, beautiful dragon album cover that he's created, and he's using the Elemental Dragons track in the background of what he's creating. So that breath just took me right into what he's doing with that. So, wow, water dragon. Now that's interesting because you guys know I'm a water dragon. So one of the tools they're showing me that me being able to bring answers and clarity and the piece that soothes the mental body, a lot of times is all we need to let go of that resistance. And I am water dragon, so that's one aspect. But the water dragon is the heart line, right? It's the love lineage. And this is about forgiveness, heart healing, and absolution. So the water dragon brings that aspect of really clearing out. What is absolution? It's about clearing out the heart completely. And that's where the walls of resistance are. That's where I can't embrace myself. An interesting point that also came up in this discussion I had with her was how a lot of times we can't embrace the dragons because the level of frequency and love vibration that they hold is so pure, so unjudgmental, so just straightforwardly loving, just all-encompassing unconditionality, that a lot of times it's the resistance walls in our heart of why or how we feel ourselves are unlovable that we can't step into that embrace. So that's another crucial piece here that the water dragon is trying to bring forward as a focal point of, one, we're bringing ourselves into alignment with truth. The truth is the core of who we be. That's the center point of our heart. So going into the heart healing, the water dragon is going to be the most prominent ally. And whether you want to work with her, calling her in as a guide, or you want to just get the energy of what she does and work with your guide, or just sit in presence with, all right, just let me be with that energy for a while. Focus on that absolution through the heart, that total absolute clearing. Absolution is literally the absolute zeroing out. Let it all go. Whether it's repenting it all, forgiving it all, you don't have to hold on to it anymore, and allow yourself to really see and know, where is it that I'm unable to receive that external unconditional love? Where do I see myself as unworthy, incapable, undeserving? Maybe there's certain qualifications that I have to have in place in order to receive that love. And maybe it's because I turned my back on that kind of unconditional love and presence from a God that I couldn't accept. It doesn't matter. But allow it to come to the surface. There's going to be all kinds of scenarios for each one of you listening. But that heart peace, that movement into that. And when the water dragon talks about forgiveness, we always think it's about forgiveness to others. And I want to just bring this in as food for contemplation, that to clear and move into really zeroing out and opening the heart completely so that it can take in the light and merge as the anchor point for your light body. A lot of times it's mostly about forgiving ourselves. Whatever actions through whatever incarnation that is what puts us in the mirror of, I can't receive that. It starts here. So I love that message. And it's so interesting because I feel like the whole water lineage somehow is connected here. Behind me, here's the crystal. I was feeling blue, calling this is my AndaRa that, I have 2 AndaRas that called me when I started having them made. And this one is my heart piece. This is literally one that when I wear it, I feel it drop straight into my heart. Whereas the other one, it's this beautiful aqua blue with a rainbow shimmer in it. And that one is literally like my joy piece. It brings me into my childlike joy. It just amplifies this joy field around me. So I love that that's what was calling today. Even feeling like I've got my blue shirt on. It was just, everything is about that energy. So I love the confirmation pulling from the deck. And if you don't have your deck yet, I encourage you, go onto the site, dragonwithin.com/layer, 44 cards, 42 of them dragons. One is the Metatron's Cube, and then the Pearl also, and the Eye, sorry. So, and the Pearl and the Eye, and then the rest are dragons that stepped forward after the book was written, many years later, actually, because they were ready. And what's beautiful is that I'm now getting more information and more dragons. If I could add cards to the deck, I would have to, because there's so many more revealing now in much more depth, because we're ready to keep expanding. And that means our work keeps expanding, or at least mine does. So I'm excited to see the unfolding of this year. Paying attention also for my own intuitive hits. This is a key, you guys. If something pops up twice, particularly 3 times, but even twice, pay attention to it. I had whales, which is the central heart core. So here we are talking about the heart origin point again, of what I consider to be like the dragon heart of the planet, where the UK sits. All of Ireland, UK, that energy is the most prominent with dragon energy on the planet. That's why I went and wrote the book. I had the book come through near the Glastonbury dragon ley lines. And I didn't even realize this till a conversation I had on Monday. Maybe it was Tuesday. Of all the UK, I've been all over it. I have not gotten to Wales yet. It's waiting. It's waiting in the wings. And I've always felt like it'll be time for me to get there someday, but it's been way, way, way out here. Sort of like Peru was for me for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, the year I went to Peru, it was that January, they said, go now. So by June, I was there, and it was amazing. And I saw why, timing-wise, like literally all the regulations changed 2 weeks after I was there. So it would have changed the whole experience and what I was able to do with the dragons. So I find it interesting that something that's been out way in the background of my radar popped up twice on Tuesday. And again this morning with this session with a woman from the UK whose family bloodline we were talking about was from Wales. So Wales has come in 3 times for me. That shows me that, like, just puts it on my radar. There's something significant there. Do I need to go there? Is there information that I need to grasp? Or do I need to sort of teleport myself there energetically, astrally travel, whatever, to get some pieces? So I'm interested to see that unfold. But I figured I'd share that because that's how things come on my radar. I have an intuitive sense, but like when they hit 3 times into the physical, it means it's time. It means it's like proximity, right here, right now. Pay attention to it and let the pieces fall together. So what's dropped into your life multiple times lately? Have you paid attention to it? All right. I'm going to wish you guys a beautiful weekend. We'll see you sometime next week. Entering the Dragon Realms does start in just under 2 weeks. March 26th. It's a Tuesday. Would love to have a few more people in it. I created it for all of you dragons out there that are in the foundational levels. But at any level, even those that have done the Quantum Flight program, I've got some of them signing up because circling back around to that foundational elemental basis is so critical. And I think that's the impetus that the dragons gave me to schedule that of, all right, there's a lot of people popping open right now. There's a lot who are at that beginning phase. They need that foundation, that questioning, like direction. And so I feel like that's also a piece of this year of really helping everyone align into that truth, because there's going to be so many waking up right now. And the dragon energy is obviously very present. We've got Year of the Wood Dragon going on. We've got the movement into Aquarius astrologically. So this year's going to be off the charts. Anyway, I will stop talking. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here. I will see you next week. Bye for now.